Welcome to Choice to Be Happy. I'm Christa Brown, and today we are interviewing me. We're going to jump right in. I put a call out, I got questions from some folks, and I'm going to answer them the best I can. So, first, Caitlin, I love you, says, was there a specific moment or experience that has informed your journey in prioritizing your own happiness? Yes. For me, it's not one experience, it is several. I had a really tumultuous childhood. Um, just a lot of instability, not knowing where housing was going to come from, food, hopping states at the drop of a hat, constantly being the new kid in school. And I remember in college, some of that instability was still happening in my family. And I was walking on the quad and I literally made a choice in my mind to be happy. I told myself that regardless of what I had experienced, and at that time the way I was processing my emotions just wasn't really helping me. I think I was really making up a lot of excuses, owning this story as my own that homelessness defined me and lack and welfare and getting all of these markers of being low income and marginalized, and I felt like I was taking it on as an identity instead of making a choice to carve out my own identity. And so I had the good fortune of going to a 4-year college, which not academically but socially changed my life. I made real friends. I came into my blackness. I kind of let go of this story and decided that I was going to run towards anything that made me happy and joyful, and I wasn't going to make any excuses. And that's truly where Choice to Be Happy came from. And it is something that now I am calling in as much as I possibly can. Sometimes I'll be on the couch and I might be down in the dumps, and that's great too. I'll veg for hours, days, and other times I know within myself, girl, you got to go outside, or you got to get a treat, or you got to phone a friend. And I have my own list right now of what are the things that I turn to when stuff gets rough. It's definitely childhood. Um, Another question is, why do you hold happiness as such an important guidepost in your life? It's so beautiful. Whoo. Um, I just think happiness and joy is everything. When I think about the atrocities that my ancestors experienced, I also hope that there were moments of joy throughout my life of incredible, just fear and anxiety and panic. There were still things that lit me up, that made me feel excited. I remember being in a park in Bushnell Park and seeing this traveling theater troupe when I was 12 and knowing in my head that I wanted to act. They were calling all these kids to go on stage if they wanted to, and I raised my hand, and it was 5 minutes, but I felt so alive. And keep in mind, when we were at the park, the reason we were there is because the shelter that we were staying at mandated that you had to leave from 9 to 5 during the week. You could not stay there, and you had to come back for dinner. So we would wander, we would walk. We didn't have a car, obviously. We would spend tons of time in libraries. And one of those days of me discovering what theater was and what acting was, it was because of a shelter, It was because a shelter made us leave during the day that I was exposed to the world of theater, and it gave me something to look forward to. And because we lived in Connecticut at the time, in Hartford, which was like the poorest and richest place, there was so much need that there were also so many resources. And I felt like our geography at that time helped me to move forward on a dream. What led you to creating Choice to be Happy initially, and why have you revived it? So, if you look back, Choice to be Happy came about in 2018. And I think I did maybe 8 or so episodes. I can't quite remember. And at that time, I just know that when I was growing up, I used to feel so insecure and so self conscious about the things that I didn't know, the things that, for whatever reason, my parents didn't know, my peers didn't know. And it was literally watching things like The Oprah Show or talking to strangers or having a professor that wanted to, talk to me after class or something that I started to learn about life, like what to do, how to socialize, how to do small talk. So I have always had this passion for having conversations selfishly so that I can, learn my stuff. But also, it's just so much fun connecting with people. It is so much fun bringing stories together, and it's so much fun. So much fun. Okay. Why have you revived it? Because I've been tired of talking about it. It's been, what is that, 2018 to now? I miss it. I miss it. A lot has happened in that time. The pandemic, lockdown, starting relationships, ending relationships, moving, shutting down a nonprofit that I created. And this is like one thing that I'm like, hey, it keeps like kind of gnawing how much I miss it. Um, so yeah, that's the reason why. Do you have any dream conversation partners that you'd love to chat about happiness with? Yes! Jerry Johnson, who's an actor who I love. Mal Wright from The Ultimatum, the Queer Edition. Estelle Archer, who's an influencer who I love, who's about like mental and physical well-being. So many people. So many people. I just want to chat with people who have either made some really strong pivots in their life to get more aligned with the life that they want. People who have, ended relationships, who've moved, who've shut down things that they loved, whose passions have shifted, like truly leaning into the choice to be happy. Because I think in sharing those stories, we can inspire other people to do the same thing. And to me, that's like what life is all about. Okay, next question. What is bringing you joy lately? Oh goodness. Well, I have my little neighborhood here, so I've enjoyed exploring the local coffee shop. Like I have one that I love that I go to often. Getting to know people that live here. I have some coworkers, friends from high school, friends from college. Like there's so much time that has passed. And now that I'm here, I really am enjoying connecting with those people, going on long walks, seeing what there is to do, dancing, eating good food, uh, listening to the No Ceilings mixtape, and just walking around with my headphones in and my sunglasses on is just, it's been divine. And decorating my place, moving stuff around, it's still very much in progress, but it is in progress, which is really nice. Next question. Is there anything that brought you joy in your childhood that you'd love to revisit as an adult? Honestly, it's the same stuff. Long walks, good food, dancing, and acting. When I was little, I wanted being an actor to be my career. And now I'm still open to that, but I'm also looking for it as just a way of expression. Being in a play, there's just nothing like analyzing a character and then learning more about yourself through that analyzation. Uh, I also want to add Jade Fox to the list. Obsessed to interview. Um, Seems like pure and simple things that really light me up. Genuine connections with people. There we go. Next question. Have you done this practice? And if so, would love to hear you speak more on that experience and what it has brought you as an adult. Okay, I'll delete that. Next question. How do you practice radical self-love? Ugh. I am quick to forgive myself. I am more and more understanding that being a human means making mistakes, and it's to be expected, actually. So not going down that path of beating myself up and not being hard on myself. Um, there's a lot of projection that people will do onto you. Like, people may have unhappiness in their lives, and because they don't have an outlet or a tool to transmute it, they may take it out on you. And I think in the past, I used to take all of that on. So if I had a manager who was stressed out, then I would become stressed. Or if I had friends who were coming to me and they were dumping, I would just take it, and then I would get off the phone depleted. Radical self love right now is me expressing my boundaries ahead of time, even stopping midway and being like, whoa, hey, sorry, I don't have the bandwidth for this. Can we revisit it? Or not texting right away. I used to feel obligated that I had to like be boom, 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 boom. But now I text back when I feel like it. I call back when I feel like it. I say no. I change my mind. I give myself treats after I do hard things. I've been exploring some like neurodivergent, the canon of education, and seeing, what works, what doesn't, like really picking and choosing from different tools out there, and literally treating myself like a baby. I keep a photo of myself as a little girl to look at because it can ground me during difficult times and remind me that you're actually doing a wonderful job. Like, you're doing a great, 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 great job. And I think the world and humans, conscious or not, it's kind of like baked in. It's just so hard. Like, I even had to check myself when I would feel I want to say revelatory in folks' downfall. Whether it was like a Real Housewives plot or somebody I know or somebody in the world, and being like, yo, why am I feeling good about the drama? But also the radical self-love part of me is like, give me the tea, give me the gossip. I like it. I'm gentle with myself. I'm more and more gentle. And regardless of what my circumstances are, I'm speaking life into myself. I'm speaking highly of myself. I'm calling in good things. And that means I have to believe good things about myself. So any mistakes that happen are just, it's the journey. It's the journey. Okay, another question. Thoughts on navigating the workplace while prioritizing your happiness and well-being? Now, they said this can be the workplace or it can mean like the world. They use the word hellscape. Okay. Golly, golly, golly. I think it's important to understand that like jobs, whether you work for a nonprofit that's doing really good work or a for-profit that's doing good work, or either of those that aren't doing good work, it's a system that was created. Every single rule, everything. The founder of Honeypot says that Beatrice Dixon, thank you, Brain, says this thing about imagine you're all on a rock right now. We're all on a rock right now, floating in the universe. And every rule and every system was made up. And when I think about that, it's like everything from the 9 to 5 to managing up to leaning in to all of this stuff is made up. So to enter the workforce in that way is to acknowledge that it's made up. So sometimes I pretend that like I'm an actor. I'm like, look at me with my laptop. Look at me working. Look at me at the coffee shop. Not taking things personally, realizing that everyone is coming with their own journey, their own background. Not being afraid of confrontation, but being confrontational in a way that is like relatively kind, boundaries. I used to truly go at the whim of whoever I was working with, whatever team I was on. I did whatever I was asked. I burnt myself out. I completely burnt myself out. I worked for myself for a time. I started a nonprofit that I was super, 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 super passionate about. And I burnt myself out. I got so hung up on other people's expectations that I didn't think it was fruitful to take time to pause and to be super, super thoughtful, meaningful, realizing that I could build the world I wanted. And I still believe that. So if you're doing stuff for other people, it's probably not going to be fruitful. So I really think whether it's in the workplace or in the world, we need to prioritize ourselves. You can't help people if you don't have a safe place to live, if you're not eating, if your mental health is, if you're not grounded. So sometimes in my mind, there are other things I want to do. And I'm like, girl, you need to get grounded first. And for me, getting grounded just means getting quiet, not being reactive, which means for me, not saying yes or no too quickly, requesting time to review things, saying things like, let me think about it, whether that's with a friend or in the workplace or a date, whatever. So leaning into that helps. I'm still trying to figure out my relationship with the news. A dear friend of mine told me that when it came to Mother Nature, that like she's good. She's going to regenerate. And we can put all this energy into protecting her and saving. She's fine. She will be okay. If like the human race has to go, she'll just. And yeah, people are like torturing her. And I also believe that she's going to come back. And she's back now and she's regenerating. It's already happening. Um, Whatever. Okay. I think we have 3 more questions. Okay. Ray Sam, my friend. Is it realistic to believe that what we desire today will keep us happy long term? I think it's possible, but I think it's also not possible. When I was younger, I thought that I was going to marry a pastor, have kids, maybe be this like super Christian, religious house, picket fence, whatever. And I thought that'd make me happy. If I'm being honest, maybe I knew it wouldn't make me happy. But definitely there was something about marrying a pastor, a male pastor at the time, was my thing. And so much has changed since then. If I had stuck to my 17-year-old guns, I'd be in positions now that would require, breakups, probably divorces, probably moving. Like so much of my core beliefs have changed, and I think it's a good thing. And it also feels like, how cool is that? Because what we want to me is like unavoidable. So if this is who my younger self wanted to be, imagine in the future, like all the possibilities. You'll get to where you're going when you're supposed to. I don't know if Christa, fresh out of college, I don't know if New York would have been best for me. But now, it's feeling great. Okay. Next question from Hillary. Y'all know Hillary, last episode. Okay. How did this last season prepare you for New York? Ugh. I think the last season of my life was filled with kind of coming face to face with a lot of things that I didn't want. Living environments, the world. Like I was just constantly being reminded of needing to put myself first. And I think I would have little like spells of doing it, but then I would have spells of just completely um, not prioritizing myself. And so now I feel like I have way more tools, way more awareness of how to navigate this season of my life in a way that will be my own pace, and believing that whatever is for me and that there is nothing that I can do to get in the way of that. It's all going to happen. There's no need to worry. There's no need to, it's happening. Boop, boop. Okay. And last question from Hillary is, what's something about you that brings you joy? This one made me emotional. Right now, I'm really starting to dig how I can check in with my body and get a good like temperature gauge of whether I'm grounded or not. And it feels like my reaction time to things is getting clearer. So instead of being somebody who would say yes to everything, not think about stuff, overextend myself, burn out. Now it's really cool to like get requests from people and to be like, to take a second and literally feel in my body a yes or a no. And it's really nice when you listen to yourself enough that I'm like, yo, I feel like I am a bestie of myself. I know what I need. I'm cute to myself. I'm sweet to myself. I give myself naps. I'll be like, girl, you did a lot today. We got to lay down. Or if I stay up really late, I make a specific choice to not beat myself up about it. Yeah. Thank you all for the questions. Thanks for your support so far. It's been really thrilling to see. Thank you for supporting Choice to Be Happy. We are here right now dropping once a month, but there's fun stuff coming, more guests, more solo videos. If that's what you want, let me know in the comments, please. Let me know what you want to see. What would you want to do? I'm looking forward to seeing this community, together. Thank you. This is Christa. It's Choice to Be Happy. Feel free to follow us on Instagram. That's Choice to Be Happy, the number 2, the letter B. Drop us a line at choicetobehappypodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to follow me, I'm Christa Brown. That's at Christa M. Brown on IG. Have a great day. Make the choice to be happy. Boop, boop.